It's a mystery beer.
It is kind of a mystery. It's a mystery because I bought this based on a suggestion, and I can't really find any information on the brewer's website, so I don't know if it was that good or that bad. But we're going to find out on this Give It a Shot. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Keith, and together, well, we're brothers, but we're also AboutBeverages.com. And what are we about today?
We're about a beer from Laughing Dog Brewing Company called the Rocket Dog Rye IPA.
And they're new to the podcast portion of our website, but not to our website entirely.
That's correct. You have something in the drink database, right?
I do.
And what was the one that you had?
It was it Dogzilla? Is that what it's called?
Yes.
It was their black IPA.
And you loved it.
I'm not going to tell you whether I loved it or liked it. I'm gonna know when to hold them and know when to fold them. No, wait. I'm showing you my poker face. And I'm just kidding. I'm not going to say whether I liked it or didn't like it, but people can head to AboutBeverages.com and check out the drink database and search for that beer, and it'll tell you whether I liked it or not.
It wouldn't be a podcast if there wasn't some sort of singing or reference, right?
Talk singing, yeah. It was kind of that was
a little bit.
That's how rap started, actually.
It is. It's just talking,
rhyming
and talking,
and
it's like a Canterbury Tale.
Like, wait a minute, we could make a lot of money off of doing this.
Exactly.
So yes.
All right. So basically what we said in the opening is completely true. I went to the website for Laughing Dog. I was like, we need to find out a little more information on this. It's not on their website.
Which is kind of strange.
It's kind of strange. Like I said, they have an IPA, but they don't mention this Rye IPA.
And you actually stumbled across this because this was recommended to you by somebody from Total Wine, correct?
Yeah, I follow Total Wine Beer on Twitter, which is someone that we actually took one of the beer classes with when we were at Total Wine. And I basically threw him the question of, give me an IPA that's kind of a little bit off the beaten path. And later, this is the one he tweeted. He said, go ahead and try this.
And we're about to.
You
haven't had it yet, right?
I have not.
Okay.
No, I've actually had it for quite a while. We've been, with all the different events and things that have been going on, we haven't really gotten to sit down for podcasts like we normally do. We've been out and about, and this is, for some reason, I hadn't kept grabbing this one.
I saw a reference to Ninkasi Brewery on, I think it was on Facebook the other day. It was something with Imbibe talking about a beer festival that's going on in Oregon.
Oh, okay.
Ninkasi, it mentioned that. So. And
actually, one of our listeners, Gary, has picked up the Ninkasi, the one that we tried, the Total Domination, and he liked it as well.
Oh, that was the IPA, right?
Total Domination IPA that we liked good. Quite a bit.
And a good value, too.
Yeah, especially at $3.50. That was really good. And this one, alcohol content, since we're talking about that kind of stuff?
6.9%.
Okay, and cost on this wasn't it $5.99?
You told me $5.99.
Okay, for the 22 for a 22 ounce bomber.
Yep,
there we go.
That's color-wise, that's about what I would expect.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, maybe a little yellower than actually.
Now, we have actually had a rye beer in the past. I brought it over, I think, for Thanksgiving.
It's the Hop Rod Rye IPA. Yeah, okay. And I think that's in the drink database as well.
Yes,
because I bought another one of those.
Oh, did you?
Because I liked it.
You really did like that one.
I did.
I was in between.
I liked that sort of rye nuance.
Okay,
that came from that. So
I already have some thoughts on the aroma, but I'm gonna wait till you sniff because I know you're busy typing.
That's similar to the Mercenary.
That is exactly what I was going to say. I'm glad you came up with the same conclusion because I was a little worried. Yeah, it's that savory again.
Yeah,
that
definitely
really
the
savory.
I'm not really getting the fruit with it though. A hint of the fruit, but yeah, similar.
Yeah, it's mostly all, I don't know what kind of, we've said savory now in a couple podcasts. So when you say savory, like what kind of herbs are you thinking of? Let's kind of break it out there a little bit more. A little bit
oregano,
maybe basil,
those
kind of little thyme,
sage,
that kind
thyme.
It's just that Italian seasoning kind of savory kind of aroma.
And you probably, when you think of that in relation to a beer, you're probably thinking, ew, but it's not necessarily ew. It actually can be ew.
It can be.
We've experienced ew.
When it turns into meatloaf or hamburger,
then it's ew. But at this point, it's just kind of like,
interesting.
Okay,
interesting.
And I wonder if our good friend Eric Green could tell us what those hops are in there. I'm sure. Could he? I know he could. Will he? Will he let us know? Because I know he can. I know he, without a doubt, he can probably tell us. He can break it down to the exact hop strain.
Because
probably even a crop year.
Because heaven forbid they actually tell us on the website what is actually in a beer that they make.
Right.
So either this beer was really bad or really good is the only conclusion I can come up with because it's nowhere on their website. Or it's so new. Maybe it's so new. Maybe we're on the cutting edge.
But so far, so good.
So far, so good.
We got the color about what we expect. We've got an aroma that reminds us of something we like.
Yeah, definitely.
That's good.
There's the rye.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah,
I almost said smoke, but you're right. That's the grain.
That's the grain. Yeah.
Okay.
Tasting it now, you can really get that's where that flavor is coming from. It almost kills everything else a little bit. Like it's like a blanket of that flavor. Yeah, it's that muted grain, almost smoky. Like I know what you're saying when you said it's not smoky, so I don't want to quite go that, but I know what you mean by that. But it's a muted grain flavor, and it really kind of envelops everything. I mean, for me, it's almost two different beers. From the aroma I just got, a little bit of that is transferring over, but not a heck of a lot.
Well, it leads with the aroma taste-wise, but then it's quickly overpowered by the finish, which is that roasted grain sort of note. I think what I like about the rye beers is that it makes me feel like it's two drinks in one. I almost feel like I'm drinking a beer and a whiskey or something like that. Or, it's like...
Is it fruity like a whiskey, though?
No, it's not fruity like a whiskey, but there are rye whiskeys that we haven't had a ton of.
That's true.
And there are, I think is it the Buffalo Trace or is it the Bullet? Is the Bullet more rye? Has more rye in it? One of the whiskeys that we've had, I thought has more rye in it, but I can't, or they say it did, even though I didn't necessarily think it.
I don't think it's the Bullet, but you get a little bit more of those savory notes and some of those other flavors the more you drink. The more you drink, the rye kind of settles down a little bit. That initial, like at least for me, the initial shock of this doesn't taste like anything like I was, or not very close to what I was smelling.
Even though I'm reading Rye IPA, my mind is just thinking IPA.
Yeah,
what is this going to taste like?
Right.
So there have been so many different IPA flavor profiles that we've had. I don't really have one specific one. I'm just kind of like have a generic, but a rye IPA is not in there yet. It's not mixed in amongst that because I haven't had that enough. So I wasn't expecting that. So yeah, that initial sip was like, oh wow, that's really different.
Yeah.
Different I like actually, but
okay.
But yeah, it does mellow out, whether it's maybe as it warms up or you just get used to it or.
Yeah, that kind of goes away. Like the more I'm drinking it, I'm getting a little bit more of those flavors that we got in the aroma.
Yeah.
Still definitely mutes those quite a bit. But like I said, it's definitely unique.
So is that something you like then or don't like?
I think overall it's fine. At least at this point in time, I don't appreciate it or I don't like it. It's not quite. I like because I like the aromas I'm getting, and then not getting those in the flavor initially kind of bums me out. Because I'm looking for those kind of things. Now the flavor itself, like I said, if you separate the two, the flavor itself is fine and the aroma is fine. But then when you put them together, I'm like, well, they're kind of contradicting a little bit, which to me, I'm kind of like, well, I'd like to have either one. Like if I hadn't gotten any of the aromas and then just got the flavor the way it was, I'd be like, well, this is pretty good. This is okay. But I get really good aromas and I'm like, ooh, this is pretty exciting. And then when that doesn't carry through enough, I'm kind of like, well, it's all right. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think? That's kind of my feeling.
No, you know what? It's funny when you were saying that, it reminded me of, I saw it the other day at Total Wine, the Midnight Expressions. How we were like, this is like two different, it's like one beer doing two different things and it's not working.
And that's kind of, this hits me there a little bit as well.
To me,
I like this more than that.
To me, that's the rye is a surprise just because I wasn't, even though it's a rye IPA and we were talking about it, I just wasn't thinking about it. I hadn't put a notion in my head already. Oh, here's what this is going to taste like. So I liked it. It surprised me, but in a good way. Some things surprise you in a bad way. That surprised me in a good way, and ultimately when I go back to it, it's it adds a depth that I can appreciate, but I also totally understand why somebody wouldn't maybe like this style. But so far, what I've had of rye IPAs, I've enjoyed.
All right, well, head on over to the website at AboutBeverages.com and check out our tasting notes along with where this hits on our recommendation scale. And while you're there, do we have the other rye IPA? Do we have that in the drink database? Very popular thing on the website.
Should be in the drink database, I believe.
Possibly in the drink database?
Yes.
Very nice. All right. And that's a good place to go look if you're making a purchasing decision.
Because
we don't want to completely influence you, but
right.
That's a little bit of what we're here to do. We're trying to give you some of the information. You can always check
not
that
influence,
out. Sure.
but inform.
Inform.
And
there
you can
go.
make a decision, based on what we've said. Maybe you've agreed with us in the past, so you think, okay, I'm going to try this. Or maybe you've disagreed with us, and we've said, don't try it. And so you're like, I know I need to try that one.
I know I want that one. Exactly.
But yeah, we had the Hop Rod Rye, I think at Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And then I tried it again and yeah, I enjoyed it.
I remember liking that one a little bit more than this one.
I think you might be right.
At least,
and I think
at least to me.
I think it's only like $3.99 too.
It is. It's that one is even a little bit cheaper than that one. And that one's very
Bear Republic.
That's from Bear Republic, which we also like their stout.
Was it stout?
I think that was their stout as well. Yep. That we did that on a podcast as well. Check the archives.
The thing is, there's
find
a
it out
lot
for
of
us.
Darn good breweries out there doing a lot of creative and innovative things, and we're thankful for that.
But whether we like it or not,
you should give it a shot.